All right. So you've been patiently waiting, getting some great information about what's really going on in this crazy market today. But today we have superhero guest today. We have in the house Nate Butcher from Real Estate Nate. I know you guys have heard of him, seen him. He is everywhere. And to his right, if you're watching on TV, we have Allison Lewin, the hardest working real estate agent I've ever known. My goodness. I mean, Allison, tell me the truth. When are we usually communicating on the phone? Because you are just an animal.
Between 11 and 1 in the morning.
That's right. Isn't that who you want working for you? Somebody that does not give up. And then we have Real Estate Nate. That's what I'm going to have to call him, because that is what you recognize him as. You see him everywhere because he is, same thing. I know he's working till 11:30, 12 at night as well. He's been in the industry out here since 1999. And I love their philosophy. Why we have them on here is not just to have a real estate agent in the house. We have the best only, and because they have the right goals in mind to help you. And that's what their really goal is. I love your philosophy. Nate, thank you for being here today.
Thank you. I appreciate to be here. And I don't know if I'm the only, Alice and I are the only real estate agents in this town is actually excited. And every time we go in a listing and every day we get up. But we do things a little different than most people, and it's really working. I know I was right on time when we got here today, but I typed up 5 listing appointments for the weekend, and that's what I was doing. And it's most of the things is what you were saying before that I was listening as I came in here. It's fear, and the only reason people have fear is they're not educated on it because in their local market. Now I could go a lot of places and work, but Santa Clarita is where I live. It's where I love the businesses that I help and I stay with, and I love the people here in the community here. So, it's. If I'm to talk to people, basically what I do a little different in Allison, we're basically financial planners. I have a full-time Stanford graduate financial planner on staff that's free to any of my clients. So we'll go out, meet with them, we'll set up a portfolio for them. We have a client care specialist to make sure they're always on call. Every client Alice and I have our cell phone number, so they're always able to get between one of the two of us at any time. Our email, we're really accessible. But basically what we do that's a little different, instead of just talking about home prices and things like that. Anybody who's listened knows, numbers and portfolios, it's always better buying a low market and selling a low market. We all want to buy low and sell high, but when you do, you calculate your numbers, it's time to do something. And, the average everyday person that's out here, there's a couple situations that they're in. They're under on their home. Well, what do they do when they don't have enough equity to do something? There's solutions to that. Other things is putting people who thinks they can never afford an investment property. That's
cash flow.
Cash flow. Now
that's a new word for Southern California.
Well, Southern California typically doesn't have cash flow, right? So basically, here's the situation: everybody purchased for equity growth, right?
Absolutely.
Because we were all making 20% on our money forever and ever and ever, and it was never going to end. Okay, I'm $300,000 under on my property too, so we're all in it together.
Yes, I am.
Okay.
I like the,
do you live in my neighborhood?
We all are.
Hey,
we all are.
okay.
We're all upside down.
Yes, my neighborhood, my Westridge neighborhood's the same as your Tesoro neighborhood's, the same as these as our Saugus neighborhood. So I don't think that's really the issue right now. I can tell everybody here, and I can say with honesty, and my stockbroker about killed me. I cashed out everything I have. Okay, and I'm not telling people to do that. Please don't say Nate ruined my retirement forever. I pay the taxes on it because what I see is a huge opportunity. And when you see rates at a low time rate, and you've actually got lenders who care enough to have a radio station just to tell you about that stuff, and good people to work with,
he's good,
like the guys here. And
did you slip some money in his pocket just now, Don?
You know what I mean that, and there's 2 other good lenders in town, but that's it. So. There's 3 of you. Okay, there's 3 of you. But the thing that really works is, for a 25% down payment, even if it's a small condo that's like $100,000. Now, I'm not out here selling $100,000 to make my commissions because we almost go in a hole on that time I pay my staff, right? Mm-hmm. But if you come in and you put 25% down on a $100,000 condo, you're turning about a $250 a month cash flow. Mm-hmm. The rents are so high.
And we talked about that last week, actually. We talked about a little place, a 2-bedroom, 2-bath on Sundowner in Canyon Country, that thing will cash flow like a dream.
Right,
It's just
right.
beautiful.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what I have, and I'll tell you one little story, and I know he's not listening. I won't say his name. So I have a gentleman. I'm going to tell you about more of a wealthy client, and I'll tell you about some people just like myself or Allison who are just out there grinding it out every day, 11 o'clock at night trying to make a living, right? But basically, we looked at his house, and his house is worth about $2 million, and he owed $600,000 on it. And I looked at his portfolio, and I brought in my financial advisor, and this gentleman makes a ton of money, and he'd paid his house down. And here's where his money was spent. He had an RV that looked like a semi truck paid in cash.
Ooh.
He had a Ferrari paid in cash, and he had a Howard custom boat paid in cash. Wow, this is great. You have a beautiful home and this and that. I go, where's all your real estate? And he goes, I don't really know anything about real estate. First thing we did was jetted him over to the lenders as fast as we could. I pulled $800,000 out of his home. We're buying 10 investment properties. He's diversifying his portfolio. We're not buying them all in the same place, okay? We're buying them in a $250,000 condo. He just purchased in Valencia. The renters I found wanted to stay that had rented there for 3 years. That's what I do. I found those renters, and he's positive cash flowing almost $300 a month. So if you do those numbers plus equity growth,
Well,
guys,
the
we're
equity
talking-
growth is going to be phenomenal on
yes.
10 properties. My
yeah,
goodness.
and when I figure as far as the investment end of it, you have to look at what rate you're making on your down payment, okay? So if we can make 8%, I don't like to sell properties if we're not making at least 7 to 8% on our money. Then we have to look at the equity growth that we got in a 10-year swing. We all know it's not coming back in 3 years. Let's not kid ourselves, okay? And then we have to look at rent values typically are 3% a year. So when I calculate that up and we look, I mean, literally sometimes you're talking about 15, 18% on your money. So that's kind of the stuff we're doing with investors, and we're doing that with all different price levels. It's a great move-up market.
Oh,
a
my
lot
goodness.
of
Well,
people are depressed.
Before we get into that, Nate, I do want to clarify, because what I loved hearing, and Gino and I do the same thing, at Skyline, we analyze everything. We break down spreadsheets. We analyze everything so that when anybody purchases a home, refinances a home, we do the numbers first. We don't just tell them go ahead and do it so we can get a commission. We break it down. I love the fact that you actually take the time with you and your team with a financial planner, and you break out the numbers, and you figure out whether it makes sense for them, and you show them why, and help them make an educated decision as opposed to an emotional decision. That's a big difference.
Absolutely. And it's the same thing with move-up buyers, move-down buyers, move all around, and sellers, okay? What I truly do, and this is not, and you can call me, and if you ever want to have a conversation about it, is truly analyze it, because I have enough business where I don't have to be pushy, okay, if that makes any sense.
It makes a huge amount of sense.
And I know all of my clients. So let's say that you don't do this right now. Maybe we set you up on a credit repair program that'll give you in a few months. Maybe it's a year. Maybe it's 2 years, okay? I have meetings at my office to where we have round tables, 10 people. We discuss what's going on. You'll see what other people's situations are. And we really try to build a portfolio no matter how much money you make, even if your job is taken, and we try to give you a vision for the future. So basically, okay, guys, we should do this like my investor, right? He didn't even have time. I drove him down to the lender and made him pull out his money. He's a good friend of mine, okay? But other people, it might take us 6 months, 8 months. But when you plan, you don't wonder what's going on. So if we focus on education, we don't have any issue selling houses, and we don't have any issue helping people, because if you do that, if you give first, you always get back. You always get back.
I love that saying, that if you help enough people get what they want, you'll get what you want.
Right.
And the average buyer and seller don't know anything about real estate.
That's right. And if you
So
just
you have
tuned
to
in, you're
teach them.
listening to Nate Butcher and Allison Lewin with Keller Williams VIP Properties. We're talking two of the best in this valley, and we know them. I've been out here for 24 years. I know the difference between a true professional that really cares, as we do. You hear us every week. We care about Santa Clarita. We care about you. And that's why we bring in experts in here to help you figure out what you should do. So, that being said, do not turn that dial, because now that we have the experts in the house, you've already gotten some pearls of wisdom. Now we're going to go into more advantages of how you can take advantage of this market, whether you're a move-up buyer, a new buyer, or an investor, because we have the best that actually analyze it for you. When we come back to the Don and Gino Real Estate and Finance Hour on your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS.
Trying to hide the pain. KHTS.
Mickey's Halloween party is just around the corner. Bring your costume and get ready for an eerie adventure like no other, with a special Halloween twist on all your Disneyland favorites. Meet and greet Disney characters in their Halloween outfits as they march down Main Street, USA, unlike any day of the year. Ghosts are close enough to touch on the popular Space Mountain Ghost Galaxy ride, where you'll see that even space isn't safe from scare. Kids can get their faces painted and enjoy a creepy, fun-filled trick-or-treat escapade through the park. With all the fun, don't forget about the Haunted Mansion holiday and watch as the night sky is blown away by the Halloween Screams Fireworks Spectacular. Only during Mickey's Halloween party, during special Monday, Tuesday, and Friday nights in October, including Halloween night, so tickets are limited. Plan your trip and purchase your tickets because Mickey's Fright-Filled Halloween party is creeping up on your calendar, only at Disneyland Park.
Homework for some kids is so easy, others really struggle.
Sulphur Springs 5th grade teacher Jamie Cox.
One struggling student really blossomed. He was getting help from Valencia Tutors.
Valencia Tutors doesn't just help with homework. They're fully credentialed educational specialists, giving your child the tools to handle homework and develop organizational skills.
It's the organizational skills that really make the difference.
Valencia Tutors. Get results. 210-8500.
If you're a teacher, you should ask me about Valencia Tutors.
Do you have a fish tank in your home or office that needs service? Did you know that Natural Wonders Fish and Pet Supplies have some of the most affordable monthly service plans, starting at $90 per month depending on the size of your tank? They have a large selection of supplements for fresh and saltwater fish, including coral. At Natural Wonders, you'll find several brands of the highest quality dog food, cat food, and reptile food. Home delivery is available upon request. Visit Natural Wonders Fish and Pet Supplies today. See their beautiful fish